Are you considering therapy or have you done therapy before? Well, I've gone through therapy with some different therapists and been through coaching in different ways. And today I wanted to share three tips that I found useful in terms of getting the best out of it, if that's something you're considering. And if you stay until the end, I have an extra point for you then as well. Now, I want to be clear, I'm not a mental health professional, I'm just a man, as always, sharing his mental health and growth experience. So it's always back to you in your decision, and of course, do go find a professional when you need that guidance. Now, I've done coaching, I've done therapy, I've done hypnotherapy and other modalities in my life. And I think therapy can be a very useful tool, and there's different forms, of course. What I'm typically going to be talking about today is talking therapy, when you're speaking from the mind and what's on it. And it's totally a great tool. But at the end of the day, decide what's going to be the best for you moving forward. I'm just here as your guide, as your coach. I want to ask you this. If you're stuck, a bit frustrated maybe with getting results, well, does doing the same thing again and again help you? Because I know it doesn't for me. So I want to give you some 3 points and make this episode nice and simple today, really, because it comes back to you on what's your decision around who you want to work with as therapy. Now, the first thing to bear in mind is feel comfortable who you're talking to. I would say, because I know as a man, it can be quite overwhelming to like suddenly go, right, I'm going to go therapy. And like, maybe you're like, yeah, you need to talk about your feelings or whatever. And you feel like that and you're like, where do I start? Oh my God, it's going to be really hard. And, in society, it's talked about like the stigma of men's mental health and sharing how I feel. And I do honestly feel in some cases that if you share the wrong people, it can be quite damaging. But I'm also a big fan of sharing with people and talking to people that I can trust. And I just don't just mean people who are like, I'm here to talk to you. I mean people who can actually hold the space. So that's why I wanted to really talk about like therapy. So first of all, find someone you're comfortable talking to. It's okay to change therapists if you need to. If you find one you don't resonate with. I was talking to a friend the other day, and he was saying this. He was saying like he was talking to a therapist and he felt like they just weren't taking it in. They were very judgmental. And there's different styles, but some styles may not best suit you. So it's okay to move to a different one. You may need like a more loving approach. You may need a bit more of a deep dive kind of digging. It depends what you need, right? At the end of the day, you may just want someone to hold the space and just talk to them. So feel comfortable who you're talking to, right? Feel energetically that it feels good. And it's okay to experiment a little bit. And also that goes with people you share with. Be okay with saying no to talking to someone. Like not like no, I'm never going to talk to you, but sharing your feelings with someone, right? You have a choice. The second thing is I would say with therapy, you want to do a lot. What I found really beneficial is really doing some body work as well. Whether that's like releasing emotions into furniture, not like throwing the furniture, although I've done that and it's not the best way. Um, like screaming into pillow or releasing emotions. Do something like breathwork's a really powerful one because that side by side with talking therapy is really, really helped me personally. And then the third thing I want to share with you in terms of getting the best out of therapy is, or starting, is break it down so it's not overwhelming. If you're like, oh my God, I've got to go talk to someone and what's it going to go like and all this kind of thing, just start with a simple email. That's all you got to focus on. Or a simple message, probably is an email if you're reaching out to a website or whatever. But just break it down very, very small. Or you've had someone who said, oh, like I know some therapists, just send them a text. Just break it down into small chunks in terms of getting out there. Because I'm talking to you if you're nervous about going out of therapy, or of course you're not feeling comfortable with an existing one and getting the most out of it. If you need to change therapists, it's just about sending that simple message, break it down into small chunks. If you want to speak to someone, it may just, and you feel comfortable talking to them, instead of a therapist for the time being, or additionally to speaking to a therapist. I found that could be really beneficial when I just send one message rather than thinking how the whole conversation is going to do. So overwhelm is often something that has come up a lot for me in this when sharing my feelings. So just breaking it down into small steps can really, really help. Now, I've got a final point I want to share as well. Listening to things as much as possible, as much empowering and positive mindset things as possible can really, really help you because it's going to give you ideas for strategies. So listen to uplifting podcasts as much as possible. Now, obviously I run one, but there's many uplifting podcasts. There's many uplifting things on YouTube, right? So listen to uplifting things as much as possible because that's really going to get you thinking in terms of how you can support yourself as well. Just getting open-minded and getting some ideas. So that's what I wanted to share with you on therapy today. Obviously, my final one was an additional one you can do in addition to therapy. But yeah, ultimately for therapy, what I found really helped me is being comfortable talking to a person, and it's okay saying no or change therapists. Doing that body work in addition to therapy, because working in the body and the mind has really, really helped my mental health. And then the final one is just breaking it down. If you're like really overwhelmed by getting yourself out there or changing therapists, or you're finding life really, really hard, just make some bite-sized challenges to get yourself moving forward and seeking out the help you need. And again, it comes down to you on what you need. I'm not a mental health professional. I'm just sharing my own experience on things like therapy today. So I appreciate you for being here. Thank you so much for listening. And remember to lead with your heart and not with fear.